Hello, everyone. My name is Francisco Santoyo, and I'll be sharing what I learned from my final paper assignment. I did my final paper on tourism and social media. In my final paper, I make the argument that the use of social media serves to perpetuate the power that northern countries and their populations have over southern countries and their populations when it comes to the ability to travel. I write about the inequalities between northern and southern countries, who the tourists are and who caters to them, how to view images on social media, and identify power relationships, and finally, who has the access and knowledge to social media. Northern countries, being more developed and having a disproportionate share of wealth and resources, have an advantage over southern countries. Some southern countries were colonies of northern countries, and these relationships of colonizer and colony are still played out today. Northern countries have the ability to influence how southern countries govern themselves. The World Bank is an international financial institution based in the North that provides loans to poor countries. This sounds very helpful for lifting poor countries out of poverty, but loans come only if poor countries accept the conditions that the World Bank puts forth. These conditions may include weakening labor unions and moving toward privatization of many industries. Some of these conditions have also included attracting foreign investment through tourism. For some countries, tourism has brought challenges and difficulties for their populations. I remember in our class readings reading about the free flow of people. We discussed how today more people move around the world. However, traveling is not something everyone is able to do. The populations of the North have the means and resources to move around the world, including travel for leisure. In the last couple of years, this has created the problem of overtourism, where the quality of life for locals has deteriorated significantly. In my paper, I looked at two places that have experienced the difficulties as a result of an increase in tourism. The first is Mount Everest. There has been an increase in people trying to climb Mount Everest. This overcrowding has brought great danger to everyone climbing, especially the Sherpas, mountain guides who guide tourists. Sherpas, who have little other opportunities to make a living, are employed by climbers wishing to climb Mount Everest. They endure the most difficult parts of the climb as they have to carry heavier loads, their gear, and the climbers' gear, fix ropes for the climbers, and spend more time suffering from the elements erecting tents. What makes their lives more dangerous and increases their risk is the increase in climbers wishing to climb Mount Everest, inspired by social media posts from other climbers. In this slide, there is an image of an Instagram post of Mount Everest at night. This climber is a National Geographic photographer, and many of his posts bring to light a world to be explored and encourage others to do the same with their social media accounts. The second is Kenya. Throughout Kenya, there are private ranches and reserves for northern tourists to enjoy. The problem with these ranches is how they only benefit the owners and guests and not the local population. These ranches provide almost no benefits to the surrounding communities and central government. Oftentimes, these ranches cause land use quarrels. Due to droughts, some nomads have moved on to grazing on private ranches. In the image, you can see a girl in a pool with a giraffe in the background. Symbolically, these are plots of land that are extensions of northern encroachment and the battles between native peoples and northern interests that are taking place all over the world. In working on this paper, I thought it was interesting to analyze the images of traveling in social media posts. I researched ways of looking at landscapes and was able to find useful perspectives on looking at travel images from social media posts. The painting in this slide is called Mr. and Mrs. Robert Andrews. In the painting, we are able to see a man with his wife on the left side of the painting. In the center and right side, we can see a landscape of trees in the distance, hills and hay in the fields. The man is standing and has what appears to be a rifle with his dog at his side. His wife is seated under a tree. The significance of the painting is how it celebrates land ownership and freedom and neutralizes work. Social media posts show the subject as the owner of the landscape, and if there are any Southern people shown, their presence and especially their work, if they are shown working, is blended to be part of the landscape. The people in northern countries have a disproportionate access to social media and the internet. They are also more likely to have the necessary knowledge to use and take full advantage of social media. In this slide, you can see how lopsided the percentages are of internet penetration between northern and southern countries. We can see why the use of social media is such an effective tool for northern populations to explore the world. In this paper, I looked at how the use of social media is used by northern countries and their populations to dominate southern countries in relation to tourism. I looked at how the North and its institutions are able to control the South, who is traveling and who must be a host, how to look and approach social media travel images, and the digital divide. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.